What is he taking out?
He's taking out. He has gloves.
He has gloves.
He has gloves in his hands.
He has gloves.
Gloves and what else?
A blanket. The blanket.
Oh my God, that is my blanket.
When 19-year-old Miya Marcano vanished without a trace, her family's happy world spiraled into a nightmare. Their worst fears began to come to life when Miya stopped answering their calls and was nowhere to be found at the airport after announcing her homecoming. With the police dismissing their concerns, the family began tracing and piecing the chilling timeline of the events together. From the moment she last entered her apartment to her disappearance after the last known location, the family realized that the culprit they had been searching for was right there, hiding in plain sight. A man obsessed with her, hiding behind a mask of friendliness, had turned her rejection into a weird and deadly obsession. What happened next was a series of tragic discoveries that left everyone who encountered the chilling details of this case speechless. Miya Marcano was born on April 26, 2002 in Pembroke Pines, Florida, to parents Marlon and Emma. In 2021, she began her second-year studies at Valencia College, completing her associate degree in arts. Miya was living at Arden Villas, sharing an apartment with a roommate in Orlando, where she worked in the leasing office. Arden Villas apartments were 200 miles away from Broward County, Florida, where her family lived. Day of incident. As the tragedy loomed near Miya, she asked her family members to visit her at her apartment for the weekend. However, no one could make it to her place, so she decided to fly to Fort Lauderdale herself to see her family. According to her family, Miya used to stay in contact no matter what, but that day, she did something unusual. At around 5:06 p.m., she sent her family a text message mentioning that she would arrive at the airport and was just waiting for her Uber. However, she soon stopped texting and responding to calls. The messages that her family sent to Miya didn't reach her, and calls went to voicemails.
Looked for Mia's location. It said location not found. Miya does not let her phone die. And if her phone is going to die, she notifies someone, or if something happens to her phone, the first person that she would reach out to is her dad. And she would just say, "Dad, don't worry about me. My phone just died."
Miya's family began worrying about her unusual absence and thought of getting help from the authorities. For her family, the police were the last hope to find her, but they were unprepared for what was coming next. Miya's mother called 911 at around 9:23 p.m. and asked them to check her apartment.
I'm calling to find out if I can have a wellness check, please.
For the address?
Correct. I just wanted to know if an Uber picked her up or not. And then from then, her phone has been completely shut off or dead. We're not sure. We had a friend go over, but they're knocking the door. Nobody's answering. I just want to make sure that she's not there.
Okay, I mean, I can get a call center for a deputy to go out there, but a deputy is going to do the same thing. He's going to knock on the door, and if no one answers the door, he can't break down the door.
They also went to the airport and waited for hours, finding out that she had never checked in. Her grandmother asked her cousin Kylie to check on Miya.
Actually, my aunt is Mia's grandmother. And when she couldn't contact Miya, she gave me a call and she said, "Hey, when's the last time you spoke to Miya?" And it dawned on me that I had been snapping her all day and she hadn't really responded much. So I figured maybe she was just having a busy day at work when she wasn't really answering. And I was like, she'll have some good laughs when she gets off. When my aunt mentioned to me, she called me and she said, "Hey, you spoke to Miya?" And I was like, no. And I said, "Hold on one second," because I always have Mia's location. So I immediately went into Find My Friends on iPhone and I looked for Mia's location. It said location not found.
Investigation by family. At around 9:42 p.m. on the same day, Deputy Paulino from the Orange County Sheriff's Office arrived at Mia's apartment at Arden Villas to check on her. He first knocked at the door, but there was no response. But when he tried to open the door, he found it locked from the inside. Deputy Paulino then went to the window to check her apartment from the outside. As he kept looking around her apartment, her cousin Kaylee Sue arrived to investigate everything by herself. She spoke to the deputy about Mia's apartment and asked him about the situation inside the apartment, looking for any clues about her disappearance. After a brief conversation, Deputy Paulino left without any further investigation. Kylie reached out to the apartment security guard, Jay, who was reportedly interacting with Deputy Paulino. She asked Jay to help Mia's family understand the situation and what had happened during the interaction between Jay and Deputy Paulino.
Him if he was there when the police came, and he said yes. And we asked him if he could please just join us in and let us know like what happened. Take us through the steps. So he said he walked us around the building. He told us his thoughts and stuff, and we really encouraged that he came with us because he was there when the police were there the first time.
Jay got Kylie to the window of her apartment, and it turned out that the window was unlocked, which was shocking. Miya had set locks on her windows so someone from the outside couldn't open them. Surprisingly, Jay also alleged that he had collected some fingerprints from the window on a tape and asked Deputy Paulino to take them with him as evidence. Still, Deputy Paulino turned down his suggestion, saying that it was not a high-priority case. Deputy Paulino also told Jay to keep the evidence with him as it might be needed in a few weeks. Feelings of disappointment took over Kylie, but something even more burdening was about to come. Kylie and Jay saw from the window that a small bookcase blocked the apartment's door. There were other elements too that shocked Jay and Kylie, including a chair that was placed behind the fence in the same direction as Mia's apartment window and a tire track in the area around her apartment.
The police did come earlier because we asked them to do a wellness check, and when they went there, they had realized that Mia's door had been barricaded shut and that the window was unlocked. They put her roommate through the window so that she could open the door from the inside and let them in.
Looking at these factors, Kylie, alongside her family members and Jay, entered Mia's apartment. They saw that her apartment was in disorder while knowing the fact that she was very organized. The situation took an unexpected twist when they saw her teddy bear on her bed. Miya used to take her teddy bear everywhere she went. It was her traveling partner. Therefore, it was very unlikely that she had left her teddy before she went off to see her family. This suggested that Miya was likely taken away against her will. Other distressing signs included her broken chain with a missing pendant, and her gifts and bangles were crooked and scattered on the floor. As they continued to look through, their feelings went from shock to fear. There was blood on Mia's pillow. At first, they thought it might be an old stain, but soon they realized if it were old, she would have tried to change the cover.
Plush, blue, decorative pillows, and if Teddy, her cute little teddy bear that her dad bought her, doesn't go with her everywhere, he's sitting right on the bed, right on top. So when we went there, we didn't see Teddy. The bed was in a disarray. We knew something was off because Miya makes her bed every day. Even when she sleeps at my house, she makes her bed.
But there was more to come. While looking around, they realized the bed's frame was crooked and had been moved. The carpet had grooves from the bed legs, which proved that the bed had been moved from its original place. As someone from the family flipped over the rug under the bed, they found a box cutter that didn't belong to Miya. They also found a single rose in a trash bin. With everything considered, Mia's other family members also arrived at Arden Villas to investigate further, only to witness a major red flag about her disappearance. As they continued the search, a suspicious man arrived at Mia's apartment looking for her.
Trying to leave, his lights was off, and he said, "Are you looking for Miya?" I said, "Who are you?" He said, "I'm the maintenance guy. I heard you're looking for me." I didn't know who this guy was at the time. Cold-hearted. I don't even have words right now.
The man was identified as 27-year-old Armando Manuel Cavero, who worked as a maintenance man at the Arden Villas. Miya and Armando met at the workplace. Armando began working at Arden Villas 2 months before her disappearance. As Mia's father spoke to Armando, he claimed that he hadn't spoken to her recently. However, it was against the fact that he had recently sent $600 to her through the Cash App, which she had rejected. Armando also texted her frequently, asking her out, but when he was asked about those messages, he said it was a while ago.
Like that, like trying to tell her, express your feelings for her.
As a regular thing, when the property was...
How is it a regular thing if you just said that you're older than her? Why is it a regular thing if you're expressing your feelings to her? Why is that? How is that a regular thing?
Why'd you cash out for that amount of money?
She said she had to help you.
She had to help me? My daughter would never tell you that.
On my soul, she told me that.
She would never tell you that.
On my soul, she said that.
But why?
Brother,
But you
Why
just
would you just
told
said
me
you're
that
not
you
in touch?
haven't spoken to her for so
yeah,
long.
because that was a
But then
while
you-
ago.
That was
The
a
Cash
while
App
ago.
was this week.
That was
went
a
into her
while
Cash
ago.
App. I'm in her Cash App. That was
I'm
this
telling
week.
you.
Mia had told her friends and family about Armando texting her regularly and sharing screenshots of his messages with them. The same week, he sent her $600 through the Cash App too, and she sent a screenshot to her group chat. But Armando told her family that he didn't even have her number and that he last spoke to her a few weeks ago. Armando explained to Mia that he wanted to help her financially and support her in every way. But what Armando told her family in his explanation shocked everyone. Armando claimed that her mother hadn't paid the rent on her apartment, and he had been friends with her since June. When she sent this Cash App screenshot to the group chat, her friend said Armando might cause issues for her, given that both work at the same place. 3 days before her disappearance on September 21st, 2021, Armando had dropped some fans at her apartment due to flooding. As a maintenance man, Armando had a key fob through which he had access to every other apartment. The fact that Armando had easy access to Mia's apartment concerned her family. When asked about fans, Armando said he had dropped vacuum only. Her family then asked him about his protocol to enter apartments, to which Armando said he knocks 2 or 3 times at the door. And if there's no response, he opens the door, knocks again, and enters the apartment, if no one answers.
The apartment.
Yeah.
And what is your protocol when you're going into the apartments? You guys just knock and go in?
You knock 2 or 3 times, you wait, nobody answers, you open the door, you knock again, we stay at the door, you wait, nobody answers, then enter the apartment.
The same night, police officers also arrived at Mia's apartment and spoke with Armando. As someone from the family filmed Armando while he was speaking with her parents, an officer also stood beside him. In the video, Armando was seen speaking to his co-worker named Tati on the phone, telling everyone that she was a mutual friend, but none of Mia's friends knew her.
But no one knows Tati.
But mind
You
you,
keep
and
mentioning
you live
Tati
20
and no
minutes
one
away
knows
from here,
Tati.
and you get a call
The
all of a
roommates
sudden.
don't even know Tati.
You've been sleeping since
You
10
keep
o'clock,
saying
and all of a
Tati is
sudden
a
you're showing
friend.
up here at 4 o'clock in the morning
Because me
looking
and
for me.
Tati were conversating about it, so I finally, it came
Okay,
up.
but
Should I go
Tati
and
is
see if I
someone-
see anything?
No one knows Tati. That's my whole thing. Not
Tati
even the
is
roommate
an
knows
employee
Tati.
here. You
She's
can-
an employee, but you keep saying Tati is a friend and that you've all hung out together. No one here knows Tati. All her
Well,
other
not
friends
all
showed up. Her
these
closest
people.
friends that live in the complex were all here with us early on. No one knows Tati. Only you. Whoever Tati is, and Tati's on the phone, she shouldn't even be on the phone right now. As of right now, you have
work
sent
tomorrow- you work
obsessive
tomorrow,
texts to
Tati?
Mia. We have all seen the text. You talked about giving her your life savings. You cash apped her money, and you claimed that you weren't in touch.
Who told her
It's
gave her
on
life
text.
savings? I never
As a
said
matter of
that.
fact, we're going to get a police report to pull your phone records if that's the case.
What you have to do?
There's evidence of obsession, of something. You're fascinated with
It's
me.
not only from my side, so don't try to make this
No one,
like I'm a
no one's
stalker.
saying that. It takes
She's not
two.
here to defend
There's-
herself right now, so
obviously
we
she's
gotta talk to
missing.
you.
So we're talking to
And
you,
I
who've been going
completely
back and
respect
forth
that. I
on
understand
text.
that. That is your family.
Right.
But until we figure out what's going on, just don't beat me up.
Nobody
one's
ain't beating
beating
you
you
If
up.
up.
I'm guilty,
But
why
you
would I
put
come
yourself in the middle right here. You brought yourself over here.
Because we're concerned.
You're concerned. Why weren't you concerned hours ago?
I just found out.
All right, cool, no problem.
So
In
how
the
did, Ta-
first
so
few
how did
hours,
Tati find out?
We didn't think it was serious. I don't even know how Tati found
Oh,
out.
somebody's
She told me-
missing and you don't think it's serious.
What happened next will serve as a major turning point in Mia's disappearance.
I have never done nothing bad to me. Where's the... Never done nothing.
The police officer later let Armando off without any more investigation or searching his car. However, after Armando had left, he was seen driving around Mia's apartment with his car lights turned off. Police involvement.
Today, Sky Witness 9 flew over loved ones, law enforcement, and people who didn't even know her as they look for any sign of Mia. Good evening, I'm Greg Wormuth.
I'm Vanessa Eccles. No one has seen her in about 4 days. This case covers a large section of Central Florida.
The next day, September 25th, she was still missing, and police had begun taking her case seriously. The Harris County Sheriff's Office reached out to the Orange County Sheriff's Office to investigate her case, but they still didn't act as quickly as they should have. There wasn't any detective assigned to Miya's case, and therefore her case remained unprogressive. As her family members gathered at Arden Villas, someone from the family told an officer that police refused to work on her case until a few days passed, and they couldn't do an Amber Alert as well, as she was over 18.
Police officers came and they said they weren't going to do anything but file a missing person report. She's an adult. They can't do an Amber Alert because she's over 18. But according to that officer, this is a typical college room that doesn't seem to look obstructed or tampered with. He said they weren't going to do much until a couple days pass and it becomes more.
Everything began to make sense as Miya's family witnessed a shocking claim from a tenant. As the news of her disappearance made rounds, many came forward with information about her. One of them called and told the police that they heard a woman and man screaming from the first floor before 7 p.m. Given his obsession and lengthy messages of Armando, her family had only one suspect in mind, Armando.
That has been the focus mostly for today. People have been knocking on doors, handing out flyers, but like you said, the woods really seem to be the focus today. A lot of people told me that's just where they had a gut feeling they needed to look.
Messages and everything. The police soon began interviewing Miya's friends, and it became clear that Armando had been weirdly obsessed with her. Jasmine, one of her friends who was also in the group chat, said she often sent Armando's messages and screenshots to the group chat asking how to respond. Jasmine told the police that Armando often sent Miya long and emotional messages even when she didn't respond to him. Despite her behavior and clear signs of disinterest, Armando kept texting her, trying to get a hold of her.
He was infatuated with her, he was in love with her. I don't know the very specifics of it, but that he was constantly texting her and then had left her alone and then went back to texting her again.
In one message, Armando said, "You drew back, which I understand because you are a woman and you don't know me that well. So you need your boundaries. I know I come off strong and crazy, but I was literally like feeling you like drift away. It bothered me." With time, Armando's obsession over her grew stronger, evident from his lengthy text messages showing frustration over her not being interested in him. He called her out for not showing the same level of interest as him. Armando wouldn't let a chance go in vain to send her unnecessarily long texts whenever she stopped responding to him.
She's not trying to be tied down with you, and she made that very clear to him, so that's just the thing for me.
According to Jasmine, Armando and Miya had no physical fights, but Armando once created a scene at the workplace by making negative comments toward her and caught everyone's attention toward both her and Armando. Once, Miya sent Armando's message in a group chat, "I don't got any more patience with you. You honestly showed me the type of person you are. Like you said, people fall for your looks. Well, I seen the type of person you are. I don't got the energy or the fakeness to tolerate giving myself to you, even as a friend. We two different kinds of people." He also said, "Just leave me alone if you don't have any intent to show any significance in my life." On Tuesday, September 21st, when Armando dropped fans off at her apartment, she told Jasmine that Armando was just there. He told her that he had cleared his mind enough and was ready to follow her back on Instagram. She also sent a screenshot of Armando's message to her group chat, which read, "Everything else burn out, but respectfully, I can't lie. I would have loved to taste you or see how it was at least once." She then asked how she should respond to that text. Jasmine responded with a suggestion, "Let's keep it cute, friend." When Miya sent it to Armando, he said, "Right, whatever, you outcooled me. I really didn't take no L while you trying to be so cool. I get it, it's over. I been knew it was. That was you making it seem like I was making mistake." She never thought that Armando wouldn't be able to take her no as a rejection. A look at Armando's activities. Her friend Rashid talked about Armando's overall weird behavior. It wasn't only Miya who was disturbed frequently by him. Armando also visited other residents' apartments. Rashid recalled one incident in which Armando was found in one of his female friend's apartments and said to her, "I just want to take a nap in your bed." Armando's suspicious behavior wasn't only limited to Arden Villas. He had been accused of harassing a woman in Sable Club Apartments in March 2021. When the woman turned down his proposal, Armando tossed a dumbbell at her window at midnight. The woman then called the police to investigate, but the case was eventually dropped, and Armando was saved from being charged.
Armando Caballero is accused of becoming violent with another woman who turned down his sexual advances just months before Miya disappeared.
According to the police records, Armando was also a convicted felon. He was charged with aggravated assault in 2017, and in 2013 he was detained for using a destructive device, resulting in damaging property and discharging a weapon on school property. As the puzzle was finally coming to life, police resolved to find the missing pieces and discovered a shocking fact about Armando. They interviewed Armando's boss, Lemuel Arroyo, who described Armando's personality as calm and peaceful. However, the day Miya went missing, Armando seemed nervous and shaking at work, which was unusual according to Lemuel Arroyo. His co-worker Noel also noticed that Armando talked less than usual and kept to himself.
Very peaceful guy, very easy to manage. You know, I was very happy with their performance. To keep eye contact, sometimes avoid eye contact. Now, all this going on made me think, why sometimes when we're talking, he trying not look at me? I don't know.
During the same timeline, officers also spoke to the Arden Villas management about the key fob maintenance. They found out that Armando, who had a key fob on duty, had entered her apartment at around 4:34 p.m., half an hour before her shift ended. But that wasn't all. He also accessed it around 2:14 p.m.
At 2:14 p.m., the deadbolt was first opened by the key fob known to be in Armando Caballero's possession. He was the apartment complex maintenance worker and the only suspect in Miya's murder.
CCTV footage of Armando driving a golf cart near Miya's apartment around the same time at 4:34 p.m. further confirmed his presence. On Friday, September 24, 2021, a visual from CCTV footage showed Miya moving towards her apartment at around 5:09 p.m., which was the last visual she was seen in. On Thursday, September 23rd, the day before she disappeared, she texted Armando. In the conversation, Armando asked Miya about her schedule on Friday, September 24th, as he wanted to talk to her about something. She, in return, asked Armando what he wanted to talk about, but he said it was nothing big. She entered her apartment at around 5:06 p.m., and this became the last time she was seen and spoken to by her family. This suggests that Armando might have been waiting for her in her apartment. Armando then left Arden Villas after 1.5 hours at 5:52 p.m. in his car. Shortly after, Miya's apartment was accessed again by someone at 7:16 p.m.
Fob opened the door a few hours later, around the time she was last seen. Caballero's phone pinged near Timber Scan Apartments around 8:20 that night. A deputy was dispatched to Miya's apartment at 9:42 p.m. after a well-being check was requested by Miya's mom.
Double shocking discoveries. As the police continued their investigation, her family set out to do the rest of the work themselves. During a conversation with the police, the family overheard Armando's address and decided to visit him. Miya's family was unaware that they would soon uncover the most chilling part of Armando in her disappearance. As they arrived at his place and parked their car at a distance from Armando's residence, they saw Armando leaving his car with gloves and a blanket belonging to Miya's family member. This confirmed that Armando was the main suspect and the person behind her disappearance.
Going into his apartment, why didn't they search him? But he had a screwdriver in his front, the passenger side. Hold on. We watch it.
That he's still in.
Kaylee, take that out.
How the f did that happen?
My stomach.
Am I on you, Joy? How the f did that happen? What is is he doing? What is he taking out?
He's taking out. He has gloves.
He has gloves.
He has gloves
He has
in his
gloves.
hands.
He has gloves.
Gloves and what else?
The blanket.
Oh my God, that is my blanket!
As they kept filming Armando, a Hispanic man came to them, taking their pictures, and tried to scare them away. The man was later found to be an associate of Armando. At around 8:47 a.m., Mia's family contacted the police with the video and asked them to search Armando's apartment. Armando let them search his apartment, but the police and her family could never recover that blanket from his place. It seemed like he had already got rid of it. Therefore, Armando couldn't be arrested for questioning. Two shocking news awaited her family, who were upset at the police's failure to take her case seriously. At around 3 p.m., Armando left his apartment never to be seen again. Right after an hour and a half, a detective placed Armando as a suspect in Mia's case, but it was too late. Police finally found a major missing part of their investigation. According to Jessica Decker, manager at Arden Villas, she received a suspicious message at 7:01 p.m.
Then the other thing that concerned me was there was an on-call message last night at around 7:01, and the message said, "This is Tristan Thompson. It's on the first floor. It's just on the opposite side of the apartment."
Yeah.
And it said the AC was out.
Okay.
It's a female unit, and an officer went over there the evening and knocked on the door, and they didn't call emergency maintenance.
Okay.
At 7:11 p.m., Armando called to let him enter Arden Villas through the main gate to attend to a fake maintenance request. On September 27th at around 10:34 a.m., Armando was shockingly found dead by suicide in Seminole County in an apartment. His death left a lot of questions unanswered, as he was a person of interest.
Miya was reported missing. Our detectives determined 27-year-old Armando Manuel Caballero was a person of interest in her disappearance. Earlier today, Armando Caballero was found dead at an apartment complex in Seminole County. We are employing anyone with any information about Miya's whereabouts.
A week after Mia's disappearance, her body was found in the wooded area behind Timbar Scan condos in Orange County on October 2, 2021, at around 10:45 a.m. She was found with her red bag and golden purse, wearing jeans, a bra, a necklace with her name, and a bathing robe. Her ankles and wrists were tied with black tape alongside her mouth, and her body was skeletonized. Considering her skeletal remains, an autopsy couldn't be carried out to find the cause of death. Finally, Armando was named a primary suspect in the death of Miya after police found her blood and hair in Armando's belongings.
Certain of the identity, the positive identification will have to come from the medical examiner's office. At this time, we cannot identify a cause of death, so I don't want to speculate on that. The most important thing right now is that unfortunately we have found what we believe to be the remains of Miya.
Her family filed a wrongful lawsuit against Arden Villas for letting Armando have a key fob that had unchecked access to her apartment. In Mia's case, they also sued the sheriff's office and 2 officers for civil rights violations and negligence. Following this, her law has been brought in to limit and do background checks on the use of master keys for the safety and security of tenants. That's it for today's video. If you liked watching this content, give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Let us know your thoughts on Mia's case in the comments below.